In order to be successful, you need to know that there is a small number of slots in the brain with everything. So you've got to get into each of them. And in order to do that, you need to know two things. The first one is 7-Eleven. Okay? The second thing is that the brain is extremely good for eating messages. It's 5 minutes of coffee or eating butter. And the last two are most useful. So, the first one is system.
Then, Priestley is the money-making expert at serial entrepreneur who built several multi-million-dollar businesses and has mentored over 3,500 businesses with the same frameworks for career success that you're about to learn.
Ultimately, what now is that the individual world, but all of society is with the industrial revolution system, which means that they're playing by an old set of rules to go into a schooling system that is preparing for the world of algorithms. So people feel like that there are no opportunities, there are no safe jobs anymore, in career competition with AI, and that leads to a whole generation of people absolutely wiped out of what it is.
So what can you say?
Well, there's actually a step-by-step approach, including building personal brand. Because that's the big capital, talent, customers, and it's not about becoming an influencer with millions of followers, but it is seeing the personal influence that's enough to make so many years. Yeah. All of those, and then there's the entrepreneurial business, which opens you up to this whole other world of opportunities, as well as side skills, and two types of opportunities that are
I need to use your phone.
This is
I need your phone for a bit again.
Pardon?
I need to use your phone for a bit again. For eBay to call. Let's see.
My commitment to you is if you do that, I'll do everything in my power, me and my team, to make sure this show is better for you every single week. You'll listen to your feedback, you'll find the guests that you want me to speak to, and you'll continue to work with me. Thank you so much.
Hello, Robin speaking.
Hi, this is Johan with EB Customer Service. This is a response to the callback request that you have on our website. And to maintain the security of your account, can I have your full name, please?
Robin Xiao.
Hi, Robin. I see you opened your account 5 years ago. Thank you for the loyalty. What can I resolve for you today?
Pardon me?
How can I help you today, Robin?
Yes, I was just saying that the decision, like unilaterally handed down and saying the decision is final, when you don't have the expertise to have made that decision, I've decided that I have to escalate this to charge the buyer with wire fraud, and I have to charge eBay with wire fraud also, because you've collected the money and you have not returned the merchandise in the condition that it was sent. I don't have a tracking number, I don't have the merchandise, and also you've already collected that money from me when I've already said, I've pointed to how you have made a mistake in the appeals process because you don't have the technical expertise to do it. So I'm contacting the Federal Trade Commission, as well as the Canadian Competition Bureau, as well as the USPS and Canada Post, because you were abusing them to commit the wire fraud because of your ignorance. And I'm releasing a press release to that effect.
Alright, so first I do apologize.
You just want to take these notes and let your boss know, because as I mentioned, that since it happened over USPS and Canada Post, then I'll be informing them the complete details of the story and telling them they have the duty to their shareholders not to do business with you if you are committing wire fraud, and also assisting others in committing wire fraud. And I can prove it. It's just because your appeals team doesn't have the technical competency to evaluate it, and you didn't provide any details at all. You can't run a separate parallel jury and judge and executioner system. This is not the way that the law works. You need regulatory oversight, and that's what I'm going to petition for the Federal Trade Commission, and I'm going to be explaining, as I said, exactly how your company abused the system and got abused to commit wire fraud over the USPS and Canada Post and over the electronic communications. I can prove that it's wire fraud because I didn't receive even my merchandise back, and also the buyer, the buyer's explanations were self-contradictory, so they cannot be true. But you took the money. That's wire fraud. And so I'm going to have eBay and the buyer charged with wire fraud, and I'm going to explain to the USPS and Canada Post that they should halt doing business with eBay immediately because you broke the law. Do you understand what the problem is? It's that you don't have the the problem is with the system. It's not my case. That's why I'm bringing it up as eBay needs oversight, because you do not have systems in place that can guarantee that you're not committing wire fraud for other scammers. And that's exactly what happened here, and I can prove it. And that's why I said it's definitely going to be making several press releases also. I suggest that your appeals team look at it and talk with me before that happens. But, even if they don't, I'm still going to be issuing press releases. I'm still going to be outlining the exact details to the United States Postal Service, to the FBI, to the RCMP, to Canada Post, and it is the definition of wire fraud that eBay has committed and has assisted a scammer in committing. If you even looked at the communications between me and the buyer, you can see I bent over backwards, and that his own stories cannot all be true. When he says wrong power supply and then later tells me he has it turned on, when he tells me not every bit of his story, and then he sends a picture that he actually sent him the correct item, and then you still issued him a refund and then took my money, which is the wire fraud, that you still took it back, even though his story cannot logically be true. It's mutually inconsistent. So that's why I said I can even prove this in a court of law already, and you still went ahead and did it. So you've already committed wire fraud, and I'm still already going to be pursuing that charge. But I'm suggesting it's better. I'm suggesting it will look better on you if you have your appeals team talk to me through this, so that we can correct this. But I'm still going to have you charged with it.
Yes, I respect your decision on this.
I don't think you do. Otherwise, you would be treating it more seriously, and you would not have stolen the money from me. You can say the words and totally not know what they mean.
Alright, so upon checking here, you have filed an appeal on the 27th of January, and our appeal team...
yeah, I know, because they don't know what they're talking about.
In this case,
it's the correct item. He even sent a picture of it.
Yes, I understand.
You violated your own policy for him, and then you stole the money from me. I don't care that they determine, but they do not have the technical expertise. Because if you look at the picture he himself sent, then you'll see I sent actually better than, but exactly what was agreed to. It's indisputable. He sent the picture himself. Just because your appeals team didn't have the technical expertise to interpret it and didn't bother to call the manufacturer, call me, that's on you.
Alright, Robin, on this case, I understand your frustration on this case, and I understand that you did your part on this one, and
I'm continuing to, yes.
However, upon checking here, since this case was already endorsed into our appeal team. They are going to take action on this one. Usually, they do take action within 3 to 5 days.
You know, since you've already
And
gone ahead and charged my bank account and caused me extra fees, and you've already stolen the money, that's why I said I'm already have to have you charged, as well as
Alright,
the buyer.
but
And
on
it
this
is
one,
going to be the
Robin,
appeals. Let's just listen for a minute. It's the appeals team. I'm going to be telling the Federal Trade Commission, the USPS, and the FBI that caused the problem, because they did not have the competency to interpret what they were seeing, but they didn't ask for help. That means that your processes are inadequate, and that's what I'm telling the FBI. That's what I'm telling the USPS, and that's what I'm telling the Federal Trade Commission. And of course, the press release will be very detailed about it.
Can I ask, did the appeal team already communicate it to you or
No,
not?
no, of course not. They just said, no, we decided that it was correct. No, you don't have the authority and the expertise, clearly, to decide that. But no, they didn't. That's why I said, I'm telling the FBI, I'm telling the Federal Trade Commission that the processes are inadequate. That's what I went to MBA school for. I can recognize these things.
I understand.
I don't think you do. It does, I mean, I know it's easy to say that, but I don't think you do understand. Can you explain to me what you understand?
Since you lost your money here and you haven't got your
No.
your money back, and-
That's not what the
okay.
problem is. I said that the problem is that your system is actively doing this to other people too. And that's why I said I have to explain to the FBI, to the Federal Trade Commission, that your systems are inadequate and they are causing injury to other Americans. I'm not American even, and that's why I'm doing it, because it needs to stop. You do not have adequate controls in place. That's why.
I appreciate you bringing this into our attention, Robin.
I know,
I'm
but
going
since it doesn't
going
bring
to
any-
complain here regarding that.
Since it doesn't bring any changes and you still stole my money, I still need to report it to the FBI's wire fraud on your part. I still need to report it to the Federal Trade Commission that if there are inadequate controls in your business, that they need to have oversight. That's what I'm asking if you understand. That it's a systemic problem within eBay. That there is a huge systemic problem within eBay that is not protecting consumers. And consumer protection law must step in and then take over and have oversight over your operations, because you are injuring people and then not allowing, any reparation. You're decisively deciding, you're judge, jury, and executioner when you say, we decided right, you cannot appeal this. And then you've gone ahead and taken the money. So that requires the Federal Trade Commission, the FBI because it was wire fraud, USPS because you're using a contract with USPS to conduct that wire fraud, Canada Post because they're involved in this, because I sent through Canada Post. So all these organizations who have responsibility to their shareholders to do business with companies that do not do wire fraud like eBay has done. Do you understand?
I understand that. We just need
I would
we just
explain,
need
I would
just need to
suggest that
work,
you talk.
with integrity, Robin, and
That you do not have integrity if you're telling me, no, it's like I tried to appeal and then by your denying me appealing, that is not having integrity. That's blocking integrity.
Can I ask how did you been denied on the appeal, Robin?
How
Can you
did
tell me more?
I what? How did I what? Hello?
How did you denied on the appeal, Robin?
How did I deny it? No, I was denied. It said, the exact wording was, we have determined that the original decision was correct, and it stands. But they didn't outline how, on what basis, because it's like I said, read the entire chain of emails. You will see that the buyer is obviously lying because he claims several things that cannot all be true. They're mutually exclusive logically. That means that every one of them was a lie, and you can tell because he changes his story all the way across. So that's why I said, but you didn't provide any explanation, so you didn't read it. Because if you read it, you could see, well, sorry, not you. What I mean is, the appeals team. If the appeals team had read it, then if they know logic and if they're competent to their job, then they would see there's no way that the buyer is telling the truth because everything he said contradicted the next thing he said. And that's why I said there has to be an investigation from the FBI, from the Federal Trade Commission to say that A, you broke the law, and that's the FBI's business. B, Federal Trade Commission is going to have oversight over you. And C, you have used the United States Postal Service to commit the wire fraud. So they should not be doing business with you. And so I said, I'm going to provide as much evidence as it takes, because this is the third time that you've done this to me, until they actually act on it. And I know you're thinking, oh, I'm just one person, they're not going to. Well, just watch. I'm asking you, make the situation better by explaining to your boss, hey, look, if we actually make the situation better without being forced to, that'll actually look good.
Understand.
I'm recording this too, by the way, so I'll be providing it to the press and to the FBI and to the Federal Trade Commission to see exactly how you deal with this. And would you please escalate this? May I please speak with your manager?
I can definitely transfer the call to a manager.
Who-
But before I proceed with that one, I really want to be your advocate today, Robin.
If I
And
what?
I
Sorry,
want
sorry.
to
If
help
I what?
you
I cannot.
on this one.
Sorry, I cannot understand what you said. Could you say it again?
Alright, on this case, I can definitely transfer the call to one of our supervisors. And before I will proceed on that one, I really want to be your advocate and I really want to help you on this case. And
I hope. I mean, don't say that if you don't mean it. Don't say that if it's on your script. Like if you mean it, then I appreciate it. But please don't say
No.
it if you don't mean it.
no, I mean it, Robin. Since I've been checking all of your transactions record on this one a while ago, and I'm also confused on what happened here.
Like, can you see? Like, I bent over backwards for him when he didn't know how to work the device. I spent the night writing a program for him to be able to do that. I sent him the best unit that I had that exceeded the. It's actually worth more, and that's why I said that anybody who knows anything about these devices would laugh because I sent him one that is worth more than he paid for. He's complaining, oh, I didn't send him what was agreed. I'm like, you have no idea. Like, I went out of my way to send him the best one that I had, and it's actually, a full 1 terahash rated higher for the same electricity consumption, and he's complaining about it. You know why? There's only one explanation for that, and that is that he didn't know what he was doing. He broke it. Otherwise, there's a mechanism for that. He should have claimed insurance, because I can't accept it back if it's not in the same condition I send it, because if that were true, he would have claimed insurance when he received it. But since he didn't claim insurance, then he's saying he received it in good working order. Now, I'm expecting to receive it in perfect working order as I sent it. If you can't do that, then that's where you have another lie, because you marketed to me when I chose to send it the way that I did, and he chose to. Like, we both elected to send it through Canada Post, and then it transfers over to USPS. Now, it's marketed on your eBay screen as saying covers up to $100 insurance. Now, the unit actually, ironically, costs less than the postage, so it's under $100 and fully covered by insurance. That means he has no reason, if there was anything wrong at the time he received it, he should be applying to insurance. I reminded him of that, and he didn't do it. That means we have to assume that he received it in perfect working order, and that means when I receive it back, since you charged me for it already, the shipping, then when I receive it back, it better be in perfect working order, or you can tell he lied too. I want to know, what is his shipping, like, since you've already charged me for shipping, what is the tracking number? What is the tracking number that you charged me for and that he's shipped it with? And where is the item? Because you've already charged me for it, so that means he's sent it. So where is it, and what is the tracking number? Because you've caused me an NSF fee of $40 because I already explained you do not have authorization to take it because I'm not in the wrong and I don't have the money to take it out. But you still went ahead and took it. So it's going to cost me an extra $49 of charges that I'm going to be asking for you to pay for. But what I'm saying now is, in order to make it so that you look at least like you've been following a procedure that makes sense, what is the tracking number that I paid, that you caused me to have to pay an NSF fee for, and that he shipped? That's why you charged me for it, because he shipped it. So what is the tracking number, and where is the item? Because if you charged me for it and he didn't, that's again going back to wire fraud, and on your part and his part, and that's conspiracy to commit wire fraud too. Do you understand that part of it?
Yes. All right. So on this one.
Because I'm, like I said, if you do understand that, and I say that I am involving the FBI in saying you have actually literally committed wire fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud, then I'm saying the USPS must know about it because they have an agreement with you that must not. I mean, if you said you have integrity, then they should be cutting that relationship completely off with you, because they cannot be doing business with businesses that knowingly, willingly, and have systems that facilitate scammers doing wire fraud and doing wire fraud yourselves, your own company, not you personally. Like, that's why I'm saying I'm taking this extremely seriously until there's resolution to this. And I know that you're thinking, oh, it's $200. What is that? Well, you know what? That's not the point. The point is that your systems could have it happen to any amount of money. And that is what the Federal Trade Commission, the FBI, the USPS, and Canada Post should be very concerned about. And I will make that patently clear to them until your company feels it. Now, do you understand? Because what you should have, what you should, just let me record this so that you can have a recording too. What you should have in place instead is, if your appeals team did not know how to properly interpret either the messages or the technical information to make that decision, because they didn't support that decision with any specifics. So I'm presuming they didn't have the competency to. But if they didn't, then they should have reached out to both me and the manufacturer to confirm.
Definitely.
Yes, because the fact that I know that they didn't is why I said the system is inadequate and it causes and facilitates wire fraud, and then conducts its own wire fraud, and then participates in conspiracy to commit wire fraud. All three of them. Like, do you see how serious this is?
Yes, I get you, Robin.
And I will have it I will file charges. That's what I'm saying. Escalate this to whoever you need to. But the fact that you've already caused me injury when I said you do not have authorization, I'm innocent here. You do not have authorization, and then you went ahead and charged it. That's where I'm drawing. That's why I'm calling you now, because I'm saying I'm going to pursue this until eBay is out of business if I have to. And you know it can happen, because there is no system in place that could stop any degree of your company not only committing, but conspiracy to commit and facilitating others in committing wire fraud. There's no process that can in place. I mean, and I can demonstrate this because just from the fact of how it happened, and that they did not provide any details back. And I can guarantee you it's because they did not know what they're reading, or they didn't read it at all. So thank you. I'm just saying, what is I would like to know, how do you feel about that situation and about your employer? Do you feel secure at that job?
Of course, definitely. On this one, Robin.
Wait, did you say of course yes you do, or of course you don't?
Sorry?
I asked if you should feel secure in that job because of how exposed that they are to criminal acts, like that they are committing them. Do you feel secure in your job? I know it's a strange question to ask, but if you have logic, if you can employ logic, it should be very clear.
It depends on where you are, Robin.
No, it doesn't,
Here,
because I'm saying if you
where
break,
I am located, I
if you break the law,
on our office. I'm sorry.
if you had,
But this
because
is,
I'm not the one that
this
broke
is
the
an
law.
overall.
I'm saying that
sorry?
I'm pursuing criminal charges against eBay, against the scammer, and also reminding the USPS and Canada Post that they have a duty not to engage in business relationships with companies they knowingly committing criminal acts like that. That's why I'm saying that it's very logically clear, and I understand it's a black swan event in that it never happens, but that's just nobody cares. I actually care about this entire world and fixing it, and that's why I'm saying I'm going to pursue this. Do you think that you have grounds to feel even a little bit insecure about your job? This is asking if you have integrity also, by the way. That's why I'm asking you.
Of course, I do have,
That's
Robin.
like you said, when you said that you wanted to help me, and that's why I'm asking you.
As I would love to help you on this one. However, since there's
Because you're denying your God in front of you, right?
for this one to be resolved,
Then you need
Robin,
something.
the best that I can do right
Is-
now is that I'm going to send this one into our technical team.
I don't see what the
And-
technical team has to do with it. It's a
Up-
policy. I mean,
up-
policy problem.
Alright, so this case will be investigated by our account specialist, proven that the buyer violated
Well, yeah.
and eBay violated some of the policies.
Well, no. It's
One
that
will-
all. I mean, okay. I can name. Remember, I enumerated what he lied about in my last communication. Right? You have that?
I'm sorry.
Well, I enumerated the specific ways that he lied, and then so, that automatically disqualifies him from the only one. There's only one part of that policy that he can qualify under, right?
Yeah,
and that
but
is
I'm
the-
not the one who is going to.
Yeah, right. You're not the one that to decide
Who
that.
is going to decide on
That's
this
right,
one,
and-
Robin?
I know. That's why I just said that you're not. But what I'm saying is that it's because we're both recording this. This is why I'm trying to make this clear. And then that's that. Basically, there is only one of those policies that he has any grounds for, and that is that if he argues that I did not send him what was described. Now, I mean, I already in my last call had said it's down to the point where if you look at the log on the device, it's going to say the actual model number that is exactly agreed to. That's one thing. The two is if you remove the 32 gigabyte SD card that I put in there to load the firmware is exactly the same firmware I put on all the devices because they are all S9s. That's what I was going to say. The second piece of evidence is it runs not just the same version of firmware, the same actual SD card. I take it from one to the next machine. It is the same machine. I mean, it just happens to be a better one. It's more efficient, so it actually makes more money for the same amount of electricity, which is why it's absurd that he would argue that no sane person, unless they broke the machine, would complain. But then what I'm saying is that he already disqualified himself because he lied about the wrong equipment earlier. Earlier, when he said you sent 120 watt instead of whatever, enough to power the power supply. And I said, no, actually, that's the stock power supply, and it's 1800 watts. The thing won't run at 120. But since he described it running later, well, obviously he made a mistake, and he tried to blame me for something that either he didn't know or was lying about. So he should have already disqualified himself at the point of the power supply. Do you understand? That's why I'm saying and this is baffling that he even made it that far, because he already demonstrated he lied more than once, trying to get the return based on because he knows that the policy has to be something that I didn't send him what he agreed to. So he tried to make it look like more than once that it was not what we agreed to. But I already said, no, actually it is, and you just proved it because A, you're running the thing with it, so it's correct, and then B, if you look at the label on it, and I don't know where you get 120 from, or you think that we're all idiots or something. I mean, that's why I said that. I don't know what it is that your appeals team did, but clearly they're incompetent, and that I'm saying at that point they should just admit that I don't have the competence to deal with this, and then talk with me and talk with the manufacturer.
All right, Robin, I definitely get your point, and I understand your frustration on this one. And
Well, not on this one.
I understand that.
My frustration is
Right.
with the bureaucracy.
all right, here. So I have take note on all of the problem here, and I'm going to raise this one as a complaint on eBay. I just sent it, and right now the best resolution for us right now, since you mentioned that the previous appeal team did not do their job.
Yes, I
on
need
this
to know
one,
that. I need to know
what
who
I'm
is.
going to do what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to send this one into our offline appeal team, our trusted technical team, and they're going to look into this one, and they're going to communicate with you within 3 to 5.
Well, like I said,
calendar
it's
days.
whenever they feel like that they should. But do remind them that this is serious enough that I need to go to the FBI, to the USPS, to Canada Post, and to the Federal Trade Commission.
Yes, understood. All of that information is noted here, Robin. And so before we end this call, I hope this will get resolved soon, so that your mind will be at ease, and you can
Well,
continue.
it's not so my
selling,
mind is. I don't. It's not so my mind is at ease. It's so that
Fine.
you guys stop doing wrong to other people. I mean, like, because it's clear there's no system in place. You don't have a system that prevents and protects people. So then you need consumer protection intervention here.
Yes, and
I actually I want
understand
you
that
guys.
being a seller, Robin,
And I want you guys to
challenging
beg.
at times.
I want you guys to beg the FTC to regulate you better. Because I want you to say, my preference is I want you guys to beg the FTC to say, please regulate us because we are not doing a good job and we are harming customers. And we want to stop harming customers. We don't want to harm customers anymore because it's not good to harm our customers. So please regulate us and help us do better. That's what I would like to see you do publicly, to appeal to the FTC and say, look, we need help. That's because if you set an example of doing that, then other companies will not feel that's bad to do. But that's what a lot of companies need to do. You know, Boeing has to do that before they stop murdering other people. Like the gas companies, the medical and industrial complex, you can start this. You can do right. You can set an example of doing right. And that, I know nobody's ever done it, but that doesn't, you remember St. Augustine? St. Augustine would be proud because he says, I don't give a, you know, if everybody's doing it, if it's not right to do, then you're doing it, right? I mean, like, that is St.
They are
Augustine.
role model.
Pardon? Like, I
Yes,
just
of course.
cannot
They are role model.
understand what it is that people take out money for. I mean, like, they go show up at 9, leave at 5, and then feel righteous in having money for what? For harming people? Anyways, good luck, God bless you, and whatever comes of it, obviously comes of it.
Robin, yes, Robin, thank you for bringing this into our attention. No worries, I have filed a complaint here, and EB will be notified regarding this one. And also, before we end this call, I'll be sending this into our offline technical appeal team, and they are going to review this case, alright? And then,
And I
thank you
hope,
for contacting EB,
and I hope that,
Robin.
yes, and I wish you the
hope
best,
you
but
have a great day ahead.
And I hope that in the future you keep your eyes and ears open for what's going on in your own company, and if you can help it too. Because the
I
whole,
will do my best to make everything right, Robin.
because you know that the entire world can help. You know, the entire world needs help right now. And
Yes, if I need to start on as what I am right now, I'm going to start right now. And thank you for that advice. And that's
Just remember-
very,
just remember Mother
I get
Teresa's
your
advice, right?
humility here, and
And remember Mother
understand,
Teresa's advice. Just start with what's closest with you.
alright. So I won't be taking much of your time, Robin. So I'll be sending this into our technical team on our offline team, and they're going to review this case, and they're going to keep in touch with you via email, Robin. All right.
Thank you. What was your name?
My name is Johan, Robin.
Thank you. God bless you, Johan.
God bless you, Robin. Have a great day ahead.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.